In a twist that has left many Miami Heat fans buzzing, Bam Adebayo has found himself in an unexpected position within the NBA's rankings of top centers. This development comes amid a landscape where player evaluations are scrutinized and debated, and Adebayo's placement has certainly sparked conversation. The ranking revelation. As the league continues to analyze performances and player contributions, Adebayo's recent ranking has raised eyebrows across the basketball community. Known for his versatile skill set and defensive prowess, Adebayo has always been a critical component for the Heat. However, this surprising assessment of his standing among centers has generated mixed reactions. Adebayo's impact on the game. Adebayo's ability to influence games goes beyond just his scoring average. He is celebrated for his defensive capabilities, which often put him in the conversation as one of the league's top defenders. His skill set allows him to guard multiple positions, making him a valuable asset for Miami. Still, the question remains, does this ranking accurately reflect his contributions on the court? Fan reactions and expectations. Fans of the Miami Heat have taken to social media and forums to express their views on Adebayo's ranking. Some believe it undermines his contributions, while others see it as a challenge for the young star to elevate his game further. The unexpected nature of this ranking could serve as motivation for Adebayo as he prepares for the upcoming season. Looking ahead. As the Miami Heat gear up for another competitive season, all eyes will be on Adebayo. With expectations high and the pressure mounting, how he navigates this newfound scrutiny could define his trajectory in the league. In a league where players are often defined by their rankings, Bam Adebayo's unexpected placement among the elite centers serves as a reminder of the dynamic nature of player evaluation in the NBA. As he continues to develop his game, the Miami Heat and their fans eagerly await how he responds to this latest chapter in his career. Los Angeles Clippers star forward Kawhi Leonard is among the laundry list of premier players who have been linked to the Miami Heat before. However, according to Ethan J. Skolnick of 5 Reasons Sports, there was an off-the-court factor that gave the Heat pause when they looked into Leonard over the years. They were worried about his uncle, Dennis Robertson. Uncle Dennis worried the Heat when they looked into Kawhi over the years, Skolnick wrote via Discord. Some people think Robertson is partly to blame for why Leonard's time with the San Antonio Spurs ended in dramatic and ugly fashion late last decade. Danny Green, Leonard's former Spurs teammate, implied during a podcast appearance that Robertson was unhappy that Leonard was not getting superstar treatment in San Antonio. In Leonard's swan song in San Antonio, he suited up in only 9 contests as he navigated injury woes, but the Spurs' medical staff seemed to be at odds with his camp about his status. Amid rumors that Leonard wanted out, the Spurs finally moved on from him and traded him to the Toronto Raptors ahead of the 2018-19 season. Leonard spent just 1 season in Toronto, but it was a magical one, as he helped the Raptors win their first championship in franchise history in 2019. Reports have detailed that Robertson then made a series of requests of several teams in 2019 that were competing for Leonard's services in free agency. Some of the alleged requests fell outside the lines of the CBA. Robertson has also been named alongside Leonard and the Clippers in the ongoing drama surrounding Leonard's suspicious endorsement deal with Aspiration. Given the history here, it's easy to understand why the Heat reportedly were wary of Robertson when they considered adding the 2-time champion to the fold. It's also not clear that it would have been worthwhile for the Heat to acquire him, as Leonard hasn't been able to stay on the court consistently during his Clippers tenure. He's played in 60-plus games in just 1 season since he joined the team ahead of the 2019-20 campaign, and he suited up in less than half of Los Angeles' 82 contests last season. Set to enter their first full season without Jimmy Butler since 2019, the Miami Heat are in a new era of the franchise. With Tyler Herro and Bam Adebayo, the Heat remain in a group of teams in the middle of the Eastern Conference, hoping for a playoff spot but lacking true championship aspirations. Now, in hopes of making a big move to land another franchise star, a recent mock trade was created, which sees Miami send away the main piece they got in the Butler trade. For a Heat team in dire need of an offensive upgrade, LAURI Markkanen could be the cure to what ails them most, Zach Buckley wrote in an article for Bleacher Report on a mock trade between the Miami Heat and Utah Jazz. He's a 7-footer who can toggle between the forward spots and handles small ball 5 duties in a pinch, and doesn't need a ton of touches to make his presence felt. There have been conflicting reports over the offseason on the Heat's real interest in exploring trade options with Wiggins. While the Jazz and Markkanen option remains intriguing, the former Warriors champion has also been linked to the Los Angeles Lakers. A Heat/Jazz trade for Markkanen and Wiggins. As explained by Bleacher Report, the trade would surround both Markkanen and Andrew Wiggins as the centerpieces of this mock trade. The full deal would look something like this. Miami Heat receive Lauri Markkanen, Georges Niang, and Kyle Filipowski. Utah Jazz receive Andrew Wiggins, Nikola Jovic, Jamie Jaquez Jr., Terry Rozier, a 2029 first-round pick, top 3 protected, and a 2030 first-round pick swap. Miami would do this deal because, with Butler gone, they need another scorer, preferably someone who doesn't take the ball out of Harrow and Adebayo's hands. While he can create offense off the dribble and punish smaller defenders in the post, he's just as useful as an off-ball play finisher, Buckley wrote. He'd also directly make life easier on Miami's best players. His floor spacing would give Bam Adebayo more room to operate around the basket. His spot-up shooting and downhill finishing could help perk up the potency of Tyler Herro's playmaking. Buckley also mentioned the Heat adding Norman Powell over the offseason after the wing player had a career year in 2024-25. Though he came in on a team-friendly deal, his contract, along with Markkanen's, would cause some pressure on the salary cap, but would still likely be worth the financial pain. And while adding Markkanen would be a different kind of animal, the 4 years and $195.9 million left on his contract might torpedo their long-term plans for future free agencies. It would also offer a much richer reward, Buckley added. The reasons for Miami wanting a player like Markkanen remain obvious, especially in an injury-riddled East next year. For Utah, all indications show they are focused on the 2026 NBA draft, and keeping Markkanen makes that task more difficult. Miami is interested in more roster changes. The addition of Powell after his 21.8 points per game average last season was the highlight of the Heat summer. They did lose Duncan Robinson, Kyle Anderson, and Kevin Love this offseason, but kept Davion Mitchell by re-signing the defensive ace on a 2-year deal. Heat all-time three-point leader breaks silence after offseason exit. Aside from those transactions, Miami has remained relatively quiet after the Butler trade for Wiggins in February. Yet still, the Heat could be set up to make more moves now, later in the summer, adding to an expected core next season of Harrow, Powell, Wiggins, Adebayo, and Kel'el Ware. In a recent article by Sports Illustrated, the potential addition of former Heat player Precious Achiuwa remains a possibility. Achiuwa played for the New York Knicks over the past 2 seasons, but as a free agent, could head to Miami before the 2025-26 season begins. Per a report from Ira Winderman of the Sun-Sentinel, the Miami Heat has looked into re-adding Precious Achiuwa to their roster to assist with their deteriorating paint depth, Sports Illustrated wrote. Heat predicted to land 6'8" free agent. As of now, Miami has Ware and Adebayo as its only true big men who have a decent amount of experience in the NBA. With that, a trade for Markkanen, or adding a player like Achiuwa, becomes much more reasonable. The Heat have the wing and perimeter depth, but pale in the paint compared to teams like the Knicks, Denver Nuggets, or Dallas Mavericks. As long as team president Pat Riley remains in charge of the Heat, the team expects to stay competitive, making the potential addition of a big man, whether in free agency or through a trade, something to watch as the season approaches.